Yogis. Welcome to Yogis for Yogis. Today we are going to be doing a full body stretch, great for the morning or right after lunch or even before you go to bed to just open up your body and feel really great. So here we go. Take a deep breath, close your eyes, wiggle down into your sit bones and relax down into your mat. Breathe out all the stress, feel your shoulders relax. Feel your knees release. Take a deep breath in. Grow a little bit taller, and as you exhale, just let everything go. Take a few more deep breaths here. Start to feel the muscles in your face relax, the muscles in your back, the muscles in your legs and in your feet. You can continue to wiggle down through your sit bones and inhale up through your spine to sit nice and tall. But fall deeper into this relaxed state of your body. Let go of your day, let go of your morning, let go of your evening, and just focus on your practice here today. Let's take a few more deep breaths. In and out. And you can breathe in through your nose and out through your nose, or in through your nose and out through your mouth, whichever feels better to you today. Let's take one more deep breath in. And exhale all the way out. We're going to start with some neck stretches. So keeping your shoulders down away from your ears. Deep breath in, grow your head a little bit taller. And we're going to exhale the right ear over towards the right shoulder. And we're just going to let it hang here for a moment. Still breathing in and out, but feeling this space on the left side of your neck just grow a little bit longer. If you'd like a little bit more of a stretch, take that left hand, place it on the mat. And if you'd like even more of a stretch, bring that right hand up, place it on your head very gently. And keep breathing into the left side of your neck. Being very gentle here as we wake up our bodies. One more breath in. If your hand is on your head, you can go ahead and release it, and we'll sit back up to center. Take a little wiggle, take a breath here in between. Let it all go. And we'll do the other side. So inhale, sitting nice and tall. Left ear to left shoulder. Exhale. Start to release. Drop your shoulders away from your ears. You may notice that you're a little stiffer on one side than the other. I definitely am today. Again, if you want a little longer stretch in the right side, drop the right hand to the mat and bring the left up and over. And you don't need to pull down on your head, just the weight of your hand is enough. Here, keep breathing. Notice if you're still tight in your shoulders, let them relax. Again, gently ease into this stretch. Let's take one more breath in. Release the left hand if it's up there. Come back to center. Take a deep breath in between. In, out. Wonderful. Wiggle back to a good starting position. Inhale your head nice and tall. Exhale, drop your chin down to your chest. And we're going to hang out here for a few breaths, lengthening the back of your head, the back of your neck, down into your spine. Breathing in, breathing out. If you'd like a little extra stretch, you can pull your shoulders down as if you're pulling your shoulders down into the mat as you lengthen your your head sort of forward and down. You'll feel that the back of your neck really engage here. Otherwise, just hang neutrally and the weight of your head will stretch everything out. Breathing into that space at the top of your spine, lengthen everything. Feel everything loosen a little bit. Nice. One more deep breath in and out. And let's come to sit up as we inhale. Nice. Take a wiggle in between. Let everything loosen up. Lovely. We're going to go backwards now. So take a deep breath in to lengthen your head up tall. Exhale, lift your nose up to the ceiling. Be very gentle with the back of your neck here. You don't need to go very far. Breathing into the space in the front of your neck now. And if you notice, like me, my shoulders are a little stiff, I'm just going to let them drift away from my ears. If it helps to place your hand on the floor, you can do that too, and maybe wiggle your elbows. If you can wiggle your elbows, your shoulders should be nice and loose. Breathing in here. If you've scrunched down, make sure to come and sit up straight. Open through the front of the neck. If it's uncomfortable, you can bring your nose down a little bit. Find a nice happy stretch here. We'll take one more breath in. Exhale back to center. Give yourself a little wiggle. We're going to inhale the arms up overhead. Stretch nice and tall. First through the right side, then through the left side. Right side again. And left. And both hands together up towards the ceiling. We're going to reach forward, forward, forward. And hands on the ground. Take a nice forward fold here. Push back into your sit bones. Keep your bum on the floor. And you can release your elbows down. You can release your head down to the ground. And take a few breaths here in a nice forward fold. One more breath in and one more breath out. And we'll come back up to sitting. Nice. Roll out through the shoulders. We'll go backwards and then forwards. Lovely. All right, we're going to do some side stretches. Now, if your knees are uncomfortable, feel free to open up your feet, or you can switch which leg is on top, or send your feet out straight in front of you, whichever feels better. I like this. It helps me sit up nice and tall. So we're going to start by placing the right hand on the mat by your hip, lifting up through the left. First, start by staying in the center. Inhale, stretch your fingers up tall, and exhale. We're just going to gently tip to the side. Keep your palm facing the floor. And you can stretch as far as you like. If this is what is available to you, excellent. If you'd like to go a little bit further, you can send your hand out farther and reach into that stretch. Keep your sit bones pinned to the mat so that you're really increasing the distance between your left fingertips and your left hip. Take a few breaths here. Open up through the ribs. Feel that stretch through your side body. Beautiful. Inhale, reach with those left fingertips. Exhale, we're going to come back to center. You can place that left hand on the mat. We'll do the other side. Right hand comes up. Stay here in the center. Inhale, your fingertips straight up towards the ceiling. Exhale, find the degree of stretch that works for you. If it's here, that's fine. It might be a little farther over, or it might be all the way extended. Do try and keep your face visible from underneath your arm. We're stretching through the side body, so fingertips to hip. Open up through the right side rib cage. always, if you're feeling like your bum is clenched or your knees are tight, let them go. You'll feel everything kind of release a little bit. Inhale, exhale. Let's take one more breath in. Really stretch with those right fingertips. Exhale, we'll come back to center. Give yourself a little wiggle. I'm going to move away from the wall. We're going to do some spine twists. So we'll start with the right hand on the left knee. Take your left hand a little bit behind you. Take a deep breath in to sit nice and tall. And as you exhale, twist your shoulders around. Beautiful. Breathe in to sit tall. Exhale. If you'd like, you can deepen that twist a little. Use that right hand to gently push you around, leading with your low back and your shoulders and not your head. One more breath in, sitting tall. Exhale, deepen that twist if you'd like, or stay right where you are. And we're going to come back to center. Beautiful. Give yourself a wiggle. Other side. So, left hand to right knee. Right hand goes right behind your hip. Inhale to sit tall. Exhale, gentle twist. Maybe go about halfway. Take another deep breath in. Exhale, deepen the twist if you'd like. Leading with your shoulder, not with your head. Your head is kind of an afterthought here. Let's take one more breath in. Sitting tall. Exhale, deepen that twist a little bit. And we'll come back to center. Beautiful. If you're sitting like this, go ahead and switch your feet other side. We'll just do one more forward fold. So, sitting tall, stretching the fingertips up all the way, and reach forward, come down into your forward fold. And hang out here for just a moment. Stretching through the backs of the thighs, stretching through your low back, your upper back. If you want, you can straighten your arms and push your palms into the floor. You'll feel the backs of your shoulders engage. Just find a good stretch, something that feels nice here in your forward fold. Take one more deep breath in and out. And then come up to sitting. Nice. We are going to move into our cat-cow. So if you come forward onto your hands and knees, your fingers are spread out, your wrists are right under your shoulders, your knees are right under your hips, and you can either have your toes flat on the mat or curled under for a little extra stability. You can play around with it and see which feels better on your feet and on your knees. So our cat-cow is a spine stretch. We pull the belly button down and you send your nose up to the ceiling as you take a breath in. Exhale, bring your spine up and look down at your hips. We're going to go back and forth several times. So inhale, nose up, belly down. Exhale, arch your back, roll your hips under, and look down at your knees. Up and down. Go at your own pace. Remember to breathe. Up and down. We'll do a few more. This really helps warm up your spine. You can get your hips into this motion. You can get your shoulders into this motion. Or you can make them as small and just really target your spine. Whatever feels better today. Let's do two more. Inhale, pull your belly down. Exhale, arch your spine up. Inhale. And exhale. Beautiful. Let's come back to a neutral spine, and we're going to come into a flying tiger. So ground down through your hands and your left knee, and we're going to float that right leg out straight behind you. The trick here is to keep your hips level to the floor. So we're not gonna spin up or drop that leg down. We're gonna try and keep that right leg parallel to the ground. And if you wanna stay right here, that's absolutely fine. If you'd like an extra challenge, you can float that left hand out in front of you, and we're just gonna breathe here for a moment. So taking some deep breaths in, exhale out. Tighten your core, use that as a grounding stability. Inhale, exhale, one more breath in. Really reach that heel out behind you. Exhale, you can replace that knee, replace that hand, and we're gonna push back into child's pose. So send your thumb over your heels, your fingertips out in front of you, and release your head down towards the ground. Take a little breather. Beautiful. We'll do the other side. So coming back onto your hands and knees, spreading out the fingertips, making sure your hips are right over your knees, and we will float that left leg. I find it helps if I'm imagining pulling my heel out away from my bum. That will help flex the foot and really get some length in that left leg. And if you'd like to stay here, go for it. Start to breathe. Use your core, tighten up your core. It will help hold everything together. If you'd like an extra challenge, you can float that right hand as if you were shaking someone's hand. Your palm should be facing the wall. Look down at the mat, keep your spine nice and long, and just breathe. In and out. And if you feel yourself starting to drift to the floor, take a breath in, lift everything, and let's exhale. Palm and knee back to the ground. Send your hips back, child's pose. And we'll hang out here in child's pose for a few breaths. I find it nice if you roll your palms up towards the ceiling. It stretches through the backs of your shoulders. It can feel kind of nice. Let's take 2 more breaths here. Excellent. We are going to come back to our tabletop, hands and knees. And curl your toes under, send your heels back, and come up into downward facing dog. Excellent. If you can't reach your heels to the floor, that's totally fine. Take a nice little stretch here. We're going to bring that right knee into the chest and step forward right between your hands. If you need to wiggle your toes, go ahead, wiggle them so that your toes are in line with your fingers. And if this is really uncomfortable, you can drop that back knee gently down to the floor. And from here, look forward and stretch into that left hip flexor. Open up that left hip to the ground. Send that left heel back towards the back wall. Excellent. Deep, deep lunge. Wonderful. Fingertips pressed into the ground. We're going to step back into our downward dog. Take a stretch here in down dog. Look back at your toes. Say hello to your toes. Drop your heels to the floor. Stretch through your hamstrings. And then bring that left knee into the chest. Step forward between the hands. Woo. Wiggle those toes up so that they're in between your fingertips. And look forward and lunge and stretch through that right quad, that right hip flexor. Again, if you'd like to drop that back knee down, feel free. Whatever feels good to you today. Excellent. Take a deep breath in and out. And we're going to step back into down dog one more time. Stretch those heels to the floor. Gently drop the knees down, come back into child's pose. Hang out here for a few breaths. Excellent. One more breath in child's pose before coming up to hands and knees. Curl the toes under, come back downward facing dog, and walk your feet forward towards your hands and come into a nice forward fold. So when you get to the top of your mat, I'm just going to spin sideways so you can see. Take a breath in, place your hands just above your kneecaps, and inhale, send your spine nice and long. It helps if you're looking at the floor, but imagine that the top of your head is going directly away from your hips. This will help lengthen the spine. Deep breath in, and as you exhale, forward fold. Your hands can come to the floor. If you'd like to put a little bend in your knees, that will take some of the pressure off your hamstrings. And just drop your head down towards the floor, letting the weight of your torso pull you down. Nice forward fold. You can let your fingers dangle, or you can place your fingertips on the mat. If you'd like a little extra stretch, you can put your hands behind your ankles and gently pull your chest down towards your quads. I'm feeling a little stiff today. Excellent. We are going to roll up to standing. So leaving your arms and your head dangling, gently roll your spine up, one little vertebra at a time until you're all the way standing. You can roll your shoulders back, find a smile, give your head a little wiggle. All right, let everything loosen up. We're going to do a couple of standing stretches, and then we're going to come into our one challenge pose for the day, our tree pose. So to start our standing poses, we're just going to do a simple twist, leaving your arms down by your hips. Just twist side to side, and these can be little twists, or you can really twist and look at the wall behind you, whatever feels good. Excellent. We're going to do two more. One and two. Great. Come back to center. Open up your stance a little bit. Your feet are just wider than your hips. We're going to take that right hand up to center and gently lean over, similar to what we did when we were sitting. And you can go as far as you'd like. Just I would start small here. So if you want to start here, take a few breaths and gently increase your stretch. That's fine. This bottom left hand is there for support. Let's take one more breath in. Exhale the right hand down. Inhale the left hand up. And exhale to stretch. Again, starting small, and you can always increase your stretch. One more breath in. Exhale the left down. We're going to do one more each side. So right hand comes up. Exhale to stretch. Last breath in. Right hand comes down. Left hand comes up and over. And down. Wonderful. Let's go. Both hands come up. Stretch nice and tall. If you want to look at the ceiling, get a little stretch in your neck. We are going to gently forward fold, looking at the floor. Your arms and your torso and your forehead are all parallel to the floor here, as if you were leaning on it, sort of lying your torso on a tabletop. But in this case, our palms are facing each other. Root your feet down into the floor. Extend your arms overhead so that they're pulling away from your hips. Take one more deep breath in. Stretch. Exhale, fingertips towards the floor. your forehead down towards your knees. Take a nice open-legged forward fold here. If you'd like to wiggle your hips back and forth, you'll feel that stretch down through the back of your legs. It feels pretty great. Wonderful. Take your feet out one more little step wider. Send your toes out about 45 degrees, and we are going to sit down. Bring your butt towards the mat into a little rooster pose. So here you may need to readjust your feet, bring them in or bring them out. If you can't get your heels down to the floor, that's fine. You may want to hang out on the balls of your feet, whatever feels good. The end result of this pose is you're kind of squat down like this, and you can keep your hands on the floor for support, or for a challenge pose, bring them palms together and use your elbows to press your knees out. You'll feel that stretch down through your inner thighs. This is a fun one. So take a moment here. Bring the palms back to the ground. Give yourself a little bounce. Send your butt back up. Spin your toes forward and take another forward fold. Nice, easy stretch. Again, if you want to bend your knees to relieve some of that pressure, feel free. We're going to roll up to standing. Your head is the last thing that comes up. Roll out through the shoulders. Give your feet a little bit of a wiggle. And we're going to go into our challenge pose for the day. If you'd like some support, a wall is really great for this. So just come and put your butt and your shoulders up against a wall. We're going to start with the right foot. So ground down through the left. Spread your toes out, get a nice base of support. And I would start slowly so you've got your balance going the whole way through. So bring your right foot up. You can either place it here on the ground, sort of a little tripod with your toes, right on your calf, or tuck your right heel right up into your left thigh so that you're like this. And this is why the wall is really great. You can focus on your pose without falling over. So when you've got your balance and when you've got your right leg where you'd like it, bring your palms together. Send your elbows out wide and your thumbs right at your heart center. They don't have to touch your chest, but they can be pointed right there. And this is our tree pose. Wonderful. If you would like, feel free to send your fingertips up towards the sky in an overhead tree. And you can stay here, or if you'd like, you can open up your branches and sort of stretch through your back and really expand your tree. Oh, there I go. Coming up and open. Beautiful. One more breath in. Exhale. And if you've opened your tree, bring your palms back to center. And you can use your hands to gently release that foot back towards the floor. Give yourself a wiggle. Your left bum may feel a little tight. That's great. We're going to do the other side. So grounding through the right foot, spread those toes, really get a nice base of support there on the ball and the heel of your foot. And then bring that left foot up wherever you'd like. If you want, you can tuck it up here. Find your balance. Bring palms together. Send your elbows out wide so we're not here, but we're here. And you can stay here, or you can let your tree grow. And if you'd like, you can open up your tree. The end pose of this is to send your gaze up towards the ceiling. Nice. Take a deep breath in whatever pose you're in. If it's here, deep breath in, open through the shoulders. Find some expansiveness. Exhale and gently come out of tree pose. You can release that foot towards the floor. Give yourself a wiggle. We're going to inhale the arms up tall. And we're going to exhale, swan dive down. Send your arms out long and wide. Little bend in the knee, forward fold. You can bend your knees all the way, bring your bum down to the mat. We're just going to do a few more stretches here on the floor before we come into Shavasana. So coming into a little bit of a butterfly, the soles of your feet together, wherever they feel best. If it's here, that's great. If it's all the way tucked in, go for it. I like to hold on to my ankles. It gives me some support. You may find that this is more comfortable. Or some folks like to push their knees down with their wrists, whatever feels good to you. Come into your butterfly, sit nice and tall, and just relax here. If it helps to flap your butterfly wings, you'll find that it sort of loosens up the muscles here in your inner thighs, whatever feels good to you. Or you can just sit here and breathe and really enjoy this stretch. Again, if this is an uncomfortable stretch for you, find what works. It may be that sending your feet out a little bit away from your hips or opening up the soles of your feet is going to feel better. Whatever gets that stretch going for you. Excellent. Coming to butterfly. Take one more deep breath in. Really open up your butterfly wings. Give your groin a little bit of a stretch. And we're going to send our feet out long, pulling the toes up towards your face. Really engage the backs of the legs down into the mat. Inhale, lift the arms up, and we're going to forward fold just as far as you can. For me, it's not very far today. You can put your palms on the ground. Keep your spine nice and straight here. We're going to try and avoid any arched backs. So if you lift your chest and your chin up, that will help keep your spine straight. And then the fold happens kind of like a panini press down from the back. Excellent. So I'm trying to get my belly button onto my quads before I'm trying to get my head onto my knees, if that makes sense. Take a few breaths here. If you'd like, you can release those toes. Get a little relaxation in the legs. As you gently breathe into this stretch, you may find that as you're sitting here, you can go a little bit farther. Keep that back nice and straight. Let's take one more breath here. Exhale, come back up to sitting. We're going to do a little micro yoga. So keeping one foot up, we're going to point the other toe, and then we're going to switch. So point and flex, point and flex, point, flex, point, and flex. Let's do two more. One and two. Both feet up together, both feet pointed. Beautiful. Up and down, up and down. And back to the top. Let's send both feet in little circles. 3, 4, 5. Other direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And back up to the top. We'll do the same thing with our fingers. So we're going to open fingers and close the hands. Open. 3, 4, 5. And then the wrists. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And alternate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now little circles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Take your palms, flip them up, place them on your shoulders, and we're going to do our elbows. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Other direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Beautiful. Nice job. Pat yourself on the back. From here, we're going to do one last stretch before we're finished. Go ahead, lie down on your back. Send both of your feet long to start, and then bring your right knee into your chest. You can hold it there with your hands. Press your low back into the mat and gently squeeze that right knee. Open up through that hip flexor. Feel that stretch in your thigh. And you can just let this right foot just kind of hang wherever it feels best. Nice. Take a deep breath in. Exhale and squeeze that right knee. Oh, you'll feel it in your quad, I'm sure. One more breath. Find a smile because we're almost done. You can let go, extend that right leg out, bring the left knee into your chest, and take a deep breath in, and exhale, squeeze that right knee into the chest, press the low back. You'll feel all of that, the quad muscle in your left leg really start to scream. Squeeze as tightly as feels comfortable. Breathing in. Exhale to squeeze. Let's take one more breath. And release that left leg down to the floor. Give your whole body a wiggle. Wiggle your fingertips, wiggle your back, wiggle your toes. If you want, you can reach overhead and stretch nice and long. We're gonna come into Shavasana. So we back up a little. Your palms are open towards the ceiling, right about at your hips. Your spine is nice and long. Your feet can just flop open. Close your eyes and feel every little piece of you sink down into the mat. Let's take a deep breath in, and we're going to let it out through our mouths in a big sigh. So take a deep breath in. Exhale. Let's do one more. Deep breath in. Exhale. Keeping your eyes closed, we're going to stay here in Shavasana for about 5 minutes or longer if you'd like. Relaxing your toes, relaxing your ankles. Relax your knees, release your calves, feel your hips sink down into the floor. Let go of any tension in your low belly and in your spine. Your hands can gently curl. Your shoulders release into the floor. Let your face and your jaw and your eyebrows relax as you breathe. Let your mind relax also. As we lay here in Shavasana, take your time, breathe deeply. long as you'd like here in Shavasana. And when you're ready, wiggle your toes and your fingers. Roll onto your side. And you can gently push yourself up to sitting. No need to do it yet, but when you're ready to get up. Take a moment in a seated pose for putting your palms together and thanking yourself for enjoying this practice, as I thank you for joining me.